You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
Before this podcast kicks off, let's talk about goals. The greatest goal is a native tree crowdfunding campaign, leaving a legacy for Aotearoa New Zealand as co-host of the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023. Visit treesthatcount.co.nz to donate a native tree for a brighter future.
Football Fever with News Talk ZB's voice of football, Jason Pine and Bonnie Jansen with Trees That Count. Donate a native tree and help us score the greatest goal.
Welcome into Football Fever, your daily World Cup podcast in association with treesthatcount.co.nz. I'm Jason Pine. Bonnie Jansen, New Zealand Herald football writer, is with me. Day 3 today of the FIFA Women's World Cup across Australia and New Zealand. 4 matches today, including our first look at the double defending champion United States. I want to talk about that a bit later on, Bonnie, but you're off to Eden Park to see your darlings, the United States, this afternoon.
I am. I'm very excited. You know how much I love this team. So, yeah, excited and hope Vietnam can put up a good test against them. But it'll be a nice day. It's sunny out in Auckland. So, yeah, it'll be a good day in the sun. Good
to hear. All right. We'll preview today shortly. But let's recap day 2 at the tournament. Group B, Melbourne, Nigeria 0, Canada 0. Now, you said yesterday you fancied Nigeria. I thought you were just drinking a bit of the loopy juice from the night before and still basking in the glory of what New Zealand did against Norway. But, well, I wouldn't necessarily say that Nigeria bossed this game, but they'll be happy with a point, won't they?
Oh, they will. And the talking point is Christine Sinclair, who has scored the most ever international goals ever, men or women. And she had a penalty that was saved for Canada.
It would have been her, or a goal for her rather, in a 6th FIFA World Cup. I mean, it's incredible to even go to 1, let alone 6, let alone score at 5 of them. She missed the chance. I mean, Canada probably had the better of this game, but it's a great result for Nigeria. Certainly keeps them well and truly alive in the group, doesn't it? Because they get the point. Ireland, of course, are in this group, and Australia. So Nigeria, yeah, they'll fancy getting out of a group for just, the 3rd time in 9 tournaments?
Well, that's what we love about World Cups, and that draw leaves that pool open. And I've said this from the start, that Group B is the pool of death for me. So with that result, anything can kind of happen now. And Australia, you know, they're on 3 points, but did they convincingly win that game against Ireland? I'm not sure. So that pool's definitely open.
Nigeria will have to do without Deborah Abudon, sent off late in this game for a pretty careless tackle, studs into the shin of her opponent. It was looked at by VAR, or the referee was told to have a look at it by VAR and produce the red card. I'll tell you what I do like at this tournament, Bonnie, is the referees mic'd up so that when they give their decision after consulting the screen, everybody in the stadium and watching on TV knows what's going on.
Oh, I loved it. I didn't know that was happening. And when it happened in the Ferns game a few nights ago, I was kind of like, whoa, what's this? And I laughed a little bit, and so did my family watching on TV, but it's great. I love it. Let's get the crowd involved.
Yeah, and I think it's been one of the criticisms of VAR is that those watching, certainly at the stadium, have no idea what's going on. Don't know what is being looked at half the time, and left in the dark a little bit. I like the idea, and I think it's something we'll see really, across all competitions that use VAR. So that was Group B's second game, Nigeria 0, Canada 0 in Melbourne. Then we went to Dunedin, Group A, New Zealand's group, of course. Switzerland, Philippines, Switzerland, the world number 20. Opening their campaign with a victory over debutantes, the Philippines in Dunedin, 2-0. The Swiss really bossed this, 74% possession, 17 shots to 3. It always felt, even when Philippines had a goal ruled out, always felt like the Swiss were going to win this.
It did, but the TAB odds had it way higher, I feel, and I think the Philippines can come away, not too upset with that result, and I don't think it's that daunting for the football Ferns, to play Switzerland as much. So, yeah, it's probably, it's a good result for the Swiss, and I'm feeling confident that, it's not as bad as I thought it would be.
That's my takeaway from it as well. Certainly nothing to fear for New Zealand here from the Philippines, but I don't know that there's much to really be concerned about with Switzerland either, certainly off the back of beating Norway the other night. So it was a good chance to have a look at these two teams, the two teams that New Zealand still have to play. Ramona Bachmann's penalty late in the first half, opening the scoring. That's 4 major tournaments she's now scored in for Switzerland. Sorana Puebel doubling the lead from close range in the 64th. Philippines had that goal chalked off early for offside, as I say, but yeah, I'm not sure that they really offered a lot in this game. I mean, they are at their first World Cup, so, really, they're just kind of finding their way. But look, I watched that game and I couldn't help but think about what New Zealand Philippines might look like on Tuesday.
Yeah, and also I don't think, off the back of our victorious historical win, I don't think we can go look at that Switzerland-Philippines result and get too ahead of ourselves. We definitely need to go in and not be too arrogant and just be hungry for a win. We only beat the Philippines, 2-1 last year. So yeah, the Ferns, I just hope the Ferns can use that win on Thursday as motivation to, play even better. The
equation does become clearer now for New Zealand. If they beat the Philippines on Tuesday in Wellington, and then later on that night, if Norway don't beat Switzerland, then New Zealand will progress with a game to spare. That is the equation. Whoa. So I know. I mean, we're already talking about this.
Got goosebumps, Piney.
I know. So that can wait, though. That's a bit further down the track. But Switzerland opening with a 2-0 win over the Philippines in Dunedin.
Football Fever Podcast with trees that count. Donate a native tree and help us score the greatest goal.
To Wellington, not much of a night in my hometown last night, but 23,000 still turned up to watch Spain against Costa Rica. I thought they were just excellent. Just excellent. They set new Women's World Cup records for shots. Bonnie, they hit 46 shots. 46! They had more touches in the opposition box than any team have ever had in a Women's World Cup. 117, 80% possession. I know that Costa Rica are a bit limited, but Spain looked good, man.
Oh, Spain looked very good, and they didn't even have Alexia Putellas on the field for most of that. They are going to be the team to beat. And what was it? They beat in the behind closed door match Vietnam 9-0 the other day, and that's who USA are going to play today. So that'll be a really interesting result to see where USA are in comparison with the likes of Spain, because I think, if I'm correct, the USA will meet Spain in a quarterfinal or a semi-final.
Imagine it. I mean, once we get to the knockout rounds and deep into the tournament, we got good teams against good teams. But I just thought last night, a lot of people talk about the United States coming to this tournament, and England and Australia and Germany. I'm not sure there was a lot of chatter about Spain, but they just flexed their muscles last night. As you say, Putellas didn't come on till about the last 15 minutes of the game. Costa Rica had one shot in the whole game, which went wide. Spain had 22 corners compared to one for Costa Rica. It was just that period in the first half, though. 3 goals in 7 minutes. Thought the second goal from Aitana Bonmati was a terrific finish. They just looked so slick, and they just look so Spanish to me,
Yeah, it was class. Unbelievable performance. When they lost the ball, they won it back, almost instantly. But also, hats off to Costa Rica. That's how you park the bus, They had a penalty against them, which the goalkeeper saved, and then they didn't concede again. So good on them. And it's Costa Rica's first World Cup? No, maybe not.
They were there in 2015.
Oh, there you go.
No, but I mean, certainly not at the level of Spain, the world's number 6 side. And I think we spoke on the pod yesterday. Costa Rica's coach said, look, we just like to be competitive in this one. We'll target the other games in this group as we might get a win. But their keeper, Daniela Solera, she saved that penalty, and then she made a string of saves in the second half to really keep it down. It could have been anything, right? Yeah, it could have been anything.
Yeah, exactly. So good on them, and I think Costa Rica can take away some confidence. But that's another group that's going to be exciting. Japan and Zambia, and Japan won the 2011 World Cup, and then Zambia just beat Germany the other day. So it's going to be thrilling. Yeah,
it will be thrilling. So that's the Group C opener in Wellington last night, and the third of the games on day 2. Spain beating Costa Rica by 3-0. While
this podcast takes a halftime break, let's talk about the greatest 80th goal, a crowdfunding campaign leaving a legacy for Aotearoa New Zealand as co-hosts of the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023 by asking fans to donate a native tree. Each native tree costs just $10, and whether you donate one or many, you'll be contributing to amazing restoration projects across Aotearoa. Visit treesthatcount.co.nz to donate a native tree and help us score the greatest goal. Looks like we're ready to kick off the second half.
The Football Fever Podcast with Jason Pine and Bonnie Jansen with Trees That Count. Donate a native tree and help us score the greatest goal.
So on to day 3, 4 games today. Let's go to Eden Park. The United States, double defending champions, up against Vietnam, 1 o'clock this afternoon. Look, we know the United States are going to win this game. What are you expecting to see in terms of their approach against a team ranked far, far below them, Bonnie?
It's been talked about for some time how USA do approach this match. Do they start their strongest lineup? Because they know this is by far going to be the easiest group match, and then they've got the Netherlands later this week. If I was USA, I would be starting my strongest lineup for the first half, and then that second half you start to rotate the squad a little bit. But they're going to come out fighting, and you don't expect anything less from the US, and I hope they celebrate the goals. I know that was like a little bit contentious at the last World Cup when they beat Thailand 13-0, and they celebrated every single goal. But I hope they do that again today, you know? I don't know. I don't know if that misses the spirit of the game. What do you think?
No, I don't think it misses the spirit of the game at all. This is a World Cup, and it is so deeply ingrained in United States football's DNA, and the women's game in particular, that you just go out there to win football matches. And that's what they do. Look, I almost think it's disrespectful to your opponent not to celebrate, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to an extent. Obviously, they're not, going to be ripping their shirt off after the 10th, 11th goal. But, yeah, I hope they take it seriously. And by the sounds of it yesterday at the press conference, they absolutely were. And they're looking, they've looked at that Germany result where Vietnam lost to Germany in late June, just 2-1 in like the 80th minute. So, by all means, it would be a massive, massive upset if they lost today, which they're not going to.
No.
But hopefully it's a good show for Aucklanders.
I'm sure. And that's the thing, is the chance to watch the United States play against, it doesn't matter who it's against. These are the global superstars of the women's game. So to get the chance to see them at Eden Park this afternoon, in the sunshine, we hope, as you say, 1 o'clock. But later on this evening, Hamilton get their first taste of this Women's World Cup. Zambia against Japan. Zambia are 77th in the world, but we've talked already about some of their lead-up matches. Japan have won this tournament previously, 11th in the world. Are you sticking with your African theme and going for a Zambian upset, even a draw here?
Oh, I would love it. We love an upset at a World Cup, hence Thursday's result. But, yeah, I've also got Japan in the office sweepstakes, so I don't know, Piney.
All right, we'll see what happens there. 7 o'clock tonight in Kirikiriroa, Hamilton. Then England, we see them for the first time tonight against Haiti, 9:30 New Zealand time in Brisbane. A bit like Spain, it'll be just a good chance for us to get a gauge, won't it, on how England are tracking, as they've got realistic expectations of going deep here, haven't they?
Yeah, they won the Euros last year. They have lost 3 of those key players that were in that squad. So it'll be interesting to see how they shape up tonight with the personnel available. But yeah, England are wanting to go deep into the tournament, and like USA today, they'll probably find the net a few times against Haiti.
Yeah, and Haiti, of course, spent time here in New Zealand. They won through the Intercontinental or Interconfederational playoffs back in sort of March of this year. So they'll have a few supporters around these parts as they take on England tonight in Brisbane. And then at midnight, for those who want to stay up to watch what should be another interesting clash in Group D, Denmark up against China. The thing about World Cups, any World Cup, Bonnie, is you get contrasting styles, right? A European side against an Asian side, different, types of playing styles. These two are pretty close together in the world rankings. I'd imagine Denmark would probably be favourite.
Yeah, they might have the edge. I was going to say that they're quite tight in the rankings, so anything can happen. And Piney, you'll know, who else do they have in their group? It's England.
That's
is it?
England
No.
and Haiti. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think they're fighting in that group to be second.
Exactly. So it'll be a great match.
Yeah, and so whoever wins this tonight, Denmark, China, gets a steals a march on the other and puts a foot into the round of 16. They hope so. It's well worth winning this game.
Exactly.
And might be one worth staying up for. So 4 games to look forward to this afternoon. We will wrap them all for you tomorrow when our fresh episode drops just before lunch. Enjoy Eden Park and enjoy the chance to see the United States up close this afternoon, Bonnie.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
Will be fun. We're back tomorrow with a fresh episode of Football Fever.
Football Fever Podcast with trees that count. Donate a native tree and help us score the greatest goal.
In the post-match review, let's score the greatest goal by donating a native tree to leave a legacy for Aotearoa New Zealand as co-host of the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023. Visit treesthatcount.co.nz to donate a native tree for a brighter future.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.